Hello everybody, and a big welcome back to the Wee Larder channel, and welcome to my super messy kitchen. I have so many things going on in the kitchen today. I've got broth, I've got an apple tart, I've got a veg bake thing in the oven as well, and I also finished a haggis. So I am just super busy in the kitchen all the time. Anyway, today we're going to be making a delicious toffee apple parsnip cake, and this recipe is so delicious. So there are two variations in this recipe. The actual main recipe is for the apple and parsnip loaf, which you'll see me make in the video. And the picture that you saw at the start of the recipe is the bigger cake. So if you want to make the bigger cake, you basically just need to double up the recipe. It's so delicious, and I love both versions. I love making the apple and parsnip loaf because it's really good with custard, but I also love the bigger cake because it is really, really good with the toffee sauce. I love the toffee sauce, and the toffee sauce is really easy to make as well. So I hope you enjoy this recipe. Any questions, please pop them in the comments below. Let's get started on this delicious toffee apple parsnip cake.
So you might want to pause it here for these lovely ingredients for your toffee apple and parsnip cake. As I mentioned before, if you want to make the large cake, you basically just want to double the ingredients on the left hand side. You don't have to double the caramel topping, that will be enough for your large cake as well. So to get started, we're going to set our oven at 160. So we're going to preheat our oven, and that's a fan oven as well. And we're going to pop all of our flour through our sieve. We're then going to add in all of our spices, so our cinnamon and our mixed spice, and we're just going to give that a quick mix through. And we're going to add in our eggs as well. So I've actually popped 3 eggs in there. It is actually 2 for the basic recipe. It's just I was using really small eggs from my tiny hens. So just so you're not confused. So we're going to add our butter in next. And we're now going to add in our milk. So if you just give that a really good mix through again. So we're just going to add in our apples and our parsnip here together. And we just give that a mix through for a minute. Don't work it too much. And we're now going to add in our sugar. And we're going to add in our chopped nuts here as well. So I'm just breaking the pecans up in my hand. You can actually use walnuts as well if you want to use walnuts. So if you just mix that through for a few seconds, not too long, so you don't want to break the nuts up any further. And we're just going to give that a mix through for a minute or so. So we're now going to butter up our loaf tin, or if you have doubled the recipe and you're making a larger cake, you can go ahead and butter up your large cake tin. So we're just going to empty all of the mixture into loaf tin. And we're just going to spread that out, and we're going to pop that in the oven for about 45 minutes. Just keep a close eye on it that it's not burning. It might need a little bit longer. You might want to pop a knife through just to make sure that it is cooked in the middle. Now it is quite a moist, dense cake, so you just need to make sure that it's cooked through, but it might be slightly sticky on your knife as well. So for the larger cake, I've basically just doubled the recipe, and I am popping it all into my large cake tin here. Now I had to bake the large one for a little bit longer, so it was about 50 minutes to an hour. Again, just make sure that it is fully cooked in the inside of the cake by using like a cake pin or like a knife or something. So here's our lovely loaf cake now that it's out of the oven. We're just going to pop that out, leave it to cool a bit and slice it up. I actually sliced it when it was still warm, but it was still super delicious. I love this cake. It is so nice. And it's just such a nice way to use apples and parsnips at this time of year. So I've popped some slices on my plate here, and I'm just drizzling over some warm custard. For the larger cake, it should look something like this when it is finished. So we're just going to leave it to cool completely, pop it out, and we're then going to slice it in half. So if you just take the cake tin out and take off the bottom, or take the cake out of the cake tin rather. So when your cake is completely cool, if you just slice it right down the middle, and if you just take the top half off, it should look something like that inside. I love the texture of this cake. It's so delicious, and I love all the little pieces of crunchy nuts as well. Now we're just going to sieve all of our icing sugar into a bowl, and we're going to make our toffee icing. It's actually made with treacle, and it is so delicious. I love this toffee icing. It's so easy to make as well. So we're just going to sieve all of that through, and we're then going to add our treacle into our icing sugar. And we're going to add in our cream. So you need about 2 to 4 tablespoons, maybe a little bit more. It's basically just enough to create a nice creamy consistency. So if you just mix up your icing with the cream and the treacle, and it gives it such a beautiful color, it just looks lovely and goes so well with this cake. And once it is ready, it should look something like this, and it should have a texture like this as well. So we're just going to spread some of that on the inside of the cake. And if you just use a spoon to smooth it out to the edges. So you want your icing nice and thick. You don't want anything runny, because it just will not stay on the inside when you put the second half on the top. So if you just smooth it out, and then you're going to pop on the top of the cake. Like so. And we're then going to add a huge blob of icing onto the top of the cake. So if you're making the loaf cake, you don't have to ice the loaf cake. It is quite small. You would probably only need about half this quantity of icing. So bear that in mind if you're just making the small loaf version. I do love this big cake. I love making big cakes, and this quantity of icing works really well for this size. So we're just going to sprinkle some pecans over the top, or you could use walnuts as well, just to finish off the cake, and that is our delicious cake complete.
So I hope you enjoyed making your delicious toffee apple parsnip cake, and let me know what version you went for, if you made a simple loaf or if you made the actual big cake. I'd love to hear, and if you took a photo as well, please feel free to tag me over on Instagram, and I'll share it up my stories for everyone to see. And if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a big thumbs up, and if you click the little bell next to it, I will see you guys again soon. So I have lots of exciting recipes coming out, and I'm also working on a new cookbook. I know I've been saying I've been working on a cookbook for a while, but I've actually put that one on hold, and I am now working on a family Christmas cookbook. It's a real small one, so it's going to be quite short. It's 12 recipes. I'm working really hard to get it finished by the end of October, so it is going to be available for you guys then. So something to get excited about. I know we're all starting to get excited about Christmas, and I love Christmas. I love the Christmas food as well. So many delicious things coming your way. Take care, guys. I hope to see you all again soon. Lots of love. Bye bye.